Hey guys, RageBarTV here, back with another video. Today I'll be showing you how to kill all 3 bosses in Arno's Ruins on Overlord difficulty, so let's get started. The first boss is pretty much a tank and spank fight, with a few mechanics thrown in here and there that are very easy to dodge and spread out for. The first mechanic this boss will do is poison green circles on the ground and around players. Ensure that you spread out for this mechanic. It can be dispelled, so healers be aware of that. It will dispel the initial circle mechanic where you have to stay away from players, but it will not dispel the damage over time effect, so also watch that. The next mechanic the boss will do is circles on the ground that spawn tornadoes. Make sure you move out of the circles before they explode, or they will do massive damage to you depending on the Overlord difficulty you're on. The third mechanic the boss does is she spawns mushrooms throughout the fight. The mushrooms need to be killed as soon as possible. When they are destroyed, they will do a massive full screen damage AoE. Healers be ready for this, as the first time she does it, there's only 1. The second time there's 2, and the third time there's 4, I believe, 3 or 4. Regardless, make sure you move around the room and kill all of these. Take into account what type of healer you're using. If you have an Archon, making sure you're staying within that Archon's area of heal effect. Saints or ranged healers, vampires, saying you want to make sure you're close to the boss. Saints and Lightbringers, you want to make sure you're, so you can stay a little bit spread, but you want to be close to anyone who can, any enemy, to ensure you're getting heals. That's pretty much it for this fight, as you'll see in the video. Yeah, next fight. The second boss in Arno's Ruins is a mechanic and HP check at 66 and 33%. Keeping that in mind, the easiest kill order for each boss is 80, 60, 40, 30, kill. With this order, it will ensure that both bosses are staying within 10% of HP of each other at all times, as well as ensuring the bosses are not overlapping the purple circles, which must have 1 player standing in them at all times, or the big AoEs, which require you to either be close to the boss or be away from the boss. First off, you want to split the groups with your highest DPS and the tank on one side, and the other 2 DPS and the healer on the other side. Or, alternatively, if you have a ton of DPS, you could put 1 tank on the left side and 3 DPS with the 1 healer on the right side. Split this up based off of your group composition and the DPS required. At the start of the fight, have the tank pull just his boss. The other boss does not need to be tanked, as it does very little damage, and that will be the group that has the healer with it, so they will be fine. You will bring the first boss down to 80%, at which point you will then switch to the other boss across the map, and the tank will switch as well. Once you receive the notification that vines have been placed on the ground, please ensure you help your tank or the DPS and healer you have put on the other side to kill those vines as soon as possible, as most tanks and healers may not have the damage to kill them by themselves. This is also a good time during the swap for healers to ensure that that tank is being healed while you're doing the swap in the middle. The other mechanic to this boss is stacks. Each boss gives a stack in relation to what boss you are standing on. The stack explodes and kills everyone at 30. We found the best way to deal with this is to make sure we are swapping, if not at percentage, then by swapping per stack. If you receive more than 20 stacks, that is a good time to swap to the other side if the boss has not reached the desired percentage, which again is 80, 60, 40, 30, kill. With remembering the fact that the bosses will do a HP check at 66 and 33%, ensure the bosses are not further than 10% HP from each other, or the boss again will do a one-shot mechanic. Once you master this mechanic, the boss is very easy. It is hectic at first, but just ensure that you're paying attention to the mechanics on the floor and stacking when it tells you to stack. It's not huge. It doesn't do a crazy damage, but in an Overlord 13 or higher or lower, it might not kill you, but it depends on your gear level. That's it for the second boss. Third boss coming up. The third boss is pretty simple. First, you want to start by tanking the boss at the stairs. We placed markers at the stairs in between where the boss is standing and where the boss is standing. Have the group stand near circle, tank on the stairs, and the square will be used when the boss is below 50%. The first mechanic this boss is going to do is a frontal cone towards the tank. This is why we have the boss tanked at the stairs, as this pretty much negates the whole mechanic. The next mechanic the boss will do is a gaze. You have to ensure that you look away while the boss does this ability, as if you are facing her when she finishes casting, she will do massive damage and stun you. The next mechanic the boss will do is a frontal cleave in a circle around her. As you saw in the video, we weren't expecting her to hold that circle for that long. She normally only does about 180 degrees and then switches to the other direction. The next mechanic the boss will do, above 50%, is a move out of the way mechanic. Simply either stand close to her to ensure that you're not in the dead zone, and then stand away from her when you are in the dead zone. The next mechanic, at below 50%, is an artifact collection. You will get teleported to another room, and you must collect 4 artifacts throughout the dungeon. When it tells you that the eyes are opening, please note, do not move at all. Do not risk, because as soon as you move, it could open the eyes, and you will be one-shot on Overload 13 or a higher difficulty Overlord, or even on a lower one, depending on your gear. So you want to ensure that you're not walking while it tells you to close when it tells you the eyes are open. Once you receive all 4 artifacts, making sure you're not to hit the blood or anything like that, the phase will end, and you can continue DPSing the boss. The boss will then do that same mechanic with the on the ground with the cross, making sure that you're moving out of the way and then facing away from the boss. When the statues come out, you want to ensure again they are dropped where the boss is standing, and then have the DPS stand on circle facing the current boss. The statue mechanic will then be non-existent. You really don't even have to deal with it. At 25%, the boss will then teleport you back to receive the 4 artifacts, but this time there will be vines blocking the way. Ensure that the vines are killed as soon as possible, making sure you're watching out for those red puddles. As you'll see in the video, one of my members, I guess, was having lag and did not see that. But it will one-shot you on this difficulty in particular. Making sure you're killing those vines, getting all 4 artifacts will end the phase. The boss will then be tanked back at orange, with the group standing at circle and dropping the statues on square in the video. Rinse and repeat until the boss is dead. There is no new mechanics for this fight, and that will allow you to successfully complete all 3 bosses of Arno's Ruins. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. Thank you, and stay safe.